Welcome to our little corner of the internet called the Mustache and The Beard.com. Two great geeks changing the world, one post at a time. I am Louis Matos, the Mustache, co-contributor and co-conspirator to the Mustache and The Beard.com, where we talk about geek culture, genre entertainment, and all the little things in between that make life worth living. And joining me today is my buddy.
Hi, I'm Junior Figueroa, aka The Beard, coming to you live from Puerto Rico, where the women are hotter. Ooh. The beaches are wetter. Yeah. And the martinis are drier. Hubba, hubba, hubba.
Wow. Awesome. I'll tell you, that theme song always makes me feel like I'm riding a horse. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay, so we have some stuff to catch up on. Red Capers video number 5, where we recap the previous week's posts and kind of tease the next week's post. So we're gonna get started with last week, Red Capers number 4 video, where we went over some of the things that we'd done. We went over through the whole month of Geektoberfest, and now that that's over with now, we're just looking forward to our next posts that are, we're anticipating, being enthused about, and enthralled, and excited. Let's not start that.
We're going to start with them N-words again?
Yeah. All right, so the first post that we had last week was Fantastic Four Year 1, your posts. Mm-hmm. And you want to tell us a little bit about what those posts were about?
Well, I reviewed the Fantastic Four comic the first year. Now, because it was a bi-monthly book, meaning that it started out every other month. It's only I believe 7. There's only 7 issues that I was actually talking about. 7 issues covered the first year. So I took a look back at Fantastic Four, the flagship title for Marvel Comics, especially apropos because Marvel has announced that it's in the planning stages for doing a Fantastic Four movie to incorporate the Fantastic Four in the MCU, and they apparently they said something to the effect that they have an explanation for why they had not been seen prior to this. So, which makes me think that they're going to do something like Ant-Man. That Ant-Man had a backstory. Right? And the interesting thing was that they did mention, in terms of casting, they did mention that they were going to ask John Cena to be Ben Grimm, which I thought very interesting. One, because he's a very interesting actor, and two, because we actually know John Cena. Okay, so.
And why would you get such a handsome man to put him in that makeup?
But this is assuming that they're going to do prosthetics, because they may choose to go the Hulk route and make the thing CGI. I don't know. But obviously they're going for a handsome guy to offset the
monster.
The monster. So anyway, I wrote a review of the first year of the Fantastic Four comic. So I invite you to read it and comment. I actually invite you to read the comics themselves.
Yeah. Written by Stan Lee
Jack Kirby.
And Jack Kirby's the artist. Now, I wonder, because you had some difficulty with some of the comics. You said that you were upset with the last two issues, that they were kind of the worst, and you think, and they're very monster oriented. Now, I don't know, is that do you think it was because first off, Stan Lee being the editor, was he also the editor of the?
Yeah,
so
the only
like
editor.
he doesn't have anybody overseeing him.
Other than the publisher,
Yeah.
Martin Goodman. There was nobody above Stan Lee.
Yeah. So issue number 2 involved the Skrulls.
Right.
That one, 1961. I'm thinking to myself that one of the reasons, because you made a comment on your issue, it's like, oh, aliens and monsters again.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and monsters. The aliens are the aliens that are kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of a thing. So
Because they're shapeshifters and they make themselves look like someone else, and they take over that person's identity.
So I'm wondering if it was a response to McCarthyism, that whole aspect of,
It's entirely possible.
communists are living with us, and oh my God, there was this.
Stan Lee was an avid anti-communist in the beginning. I mean, the communists were the enemy. The original reason for the Fantastic Four to take their space flight was to beat the commies into space. Okay, Ant-Man, the enemy agents that attempt to steal his formula, forcing him to become Ant-Man, commies. The commies were there was two underlying threads in all of Stan Lee's work: commies and radioactivity, radiation.
Monsters.
Radiation was the explanation for everything. Radiation, the explanation for the Fantastic Four. Radiation, the explanation for Spider-Man. Radiation, the explanation for Daredevil. This is one of Stan Lee's
Common themes.
Yeah, and I don't mean it as a criticism. I'm simply pointing out
A theme.
A theme that you notice if you study these things. The other thing was communism. Don't forget, Iron Man gets his the shrapnel in his heart in Southeast Asia. We were in Vietnam at the time, so absolutely the earliest bad guys that all the Marvel characters wind up fighting.
I was wondering if an editor would have said, okay, ease up on that a little bit.
It's possible.
So yeah, it's just because it seems so overt. And so, yeah, if you haven't noticed it, maybe it's because you're in this era. But if you look at it and in the historical context, it's understandable.
Well, let's not forget that Stan Lee is writing every single story, every single Marvel story.
Yeah.
The only help he had was his brother Larry Lieber. Now, Larry Lieber is an unsung. I think I'm going to do an off the rack on Larry Lieber. He's an unsung hero because the truth of the matter is that all those Thor comics that we attribute to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, those early Thor comics, the brains behind it was really Larry Lieber. All Stan Lee did was give him a plot. For this particular issue, this particular comic, Larry Lieber would go and not do it the Marvel style. He would do actual break down the script and hand Jack Kirby an actual comic book script. So Kirby was drawing Thor from an actual script, not the Marvel way that he was doing with Stan Lee. And Larry Lieber is the one who came up with the name for the Uru for what Thor's hammer was made out of. And he's the one that had Thor and the Asgardians speaking Shakespearean English. That came from him. So, but he is the only one, other than Stan Lee, who was doing this kind of writing. So, let's face it. I mean, how much can you keep track of? It's like I pointed out. Fantastic Four #3, the villain Miracle Man, right? His powers and the way he looks. A year later, Stan Lee gives this to Mastermind from the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. The exact same powers, the exact same look, right? He ripped himself off without realizing it. He wasn't paying attention. He wasn't keeping track. He creates.
That's why you need an editor.
He creates a puppet master. The puppet master for Fantastic Four. Over in Iron Man, he creates the doll master exactly the same. Exactly the same. And when it was pointed out to him, he said, "I forgot about the puppet master."
Don't whisper.
All right. I forgot about that. When it was pointed out to Stan Lee that the doll master was a blatant ripoff of the puppet master, he said, "I forgot. I forgot about Puppet Master. If I remembered about Puppet Master, I would have used Puppet Master in the story instead of Doll Master." He forgot. Obviously, in the Brotherhood of the Mutants, he forgot about Miracle Man, because otherwise he would have used him instead of coming up with Mastermind that looked exactly the same. That's what happens when you're overworked and you don't have an editor.
You need an editor. Yeah, issue number 6, Submariner and Dr. Doom. You complain.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic is a wimp. I read that comic book and I'm like, oh my God. Mr. Fantastic is a wimp. Invisible Girl is a turncoat.
She should have been kicked off the team.
Human Torch is a baby. Mad Dog. You have a Mad Dog thing. It's like, these are the good guys.
And they accomplished nothing this issue. All they accomplished is Mr. Fantastic getting hurt.
And Namor, the Submariner,
the villain,
is the good guy. He's the one that's the hero, and
he saves the day.
Yeah. So you think Stan Lee had too much control?
I think that goes without saying. I think anybody, but it's part of the basic criticism of this medium. Because even when you have an editor, if your book is selling more than any others, the editor loses control over the writer and the artist. Okay? Forget it. You think there's anybody telling Jim Lee no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be talking about that a little later.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So it goes without saying. The other thing is, I think he was overworked. I think, although he had a stable of artists, Jack Kirby, John Romita,
Steve
Ditko, Don Heck, Bill Everett, he had a stable of artists. He's the only one writing, him and his brother, and all he let his brother do. With Thor, and his brother was doing the Western titles and the Western and the war books and stuff like that. I think he was overworked. I think Stan Lee was simply overworked. I think it was on purpose. I think not that he was being greedy. I think he was simply afraid. He was trying to revolutionize an industry, and had a vision, and was afraid that if he let anybody else in, that they weren't going to go along with his vision. But stop and think about it. I mean, the guy's writing Fantastic Four, Avengers, X-Men, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor. Did I leave anybody out? Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Hulk.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this whole thing about Stan Lee.
That you read.
Of course,
so you see what I was talking about.
Yeah, I wanted to go back, and I wanted to also have a little bit more of a conversation about our posts. Yeah. Okay, so the Scarlet Claw. We didn't have a video in the middle of this week. I think we talked about the fact that we've been having some difficulties. I'm not going to make any more excuses. I'm not even going to make any complaints or talk about it. When you don't see a video, it's that it was just something happened. Yeah,
life happened.
Yeah. We intend to rectify that this week, but again, we'll.
Yeah, because we got a lot of stuff in the works. It's just that we haven't been able to do it.
But instead of having the video on Wednesday, you talked about a movie and reviewed The Scarlet Claw.
Yeah.
1944 Sherlock Holmes movie.
Love it. Love it.
Directed by Roy William Neal. Basil Rathbone, I don't know how you pronounce it. Basil, if you're going to be English sophisticated, or Basil, if you want to be American.
If you're going to be culinary.
You want to speak American. It's Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. Now, mind you, I'm going to let you talk, but then I'm going to tell you, I saw the movie too.
Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce made 12 Sherlock Holmes movies for Universal. They started during World War II. The idea was to do an updated Holmes and show him fighting World War II, fighting the Nazis. Right? This was the idea behind it. But very quickly, after 2 or 3 movies, we won the war. So the subsequent movies in the series were more standard mysteries. Still inspired by the Arthur Conan Doyle stories, but it was still an updated Holmes, and there were original stories. Of that bunch, The Scarlet Claw is my favorite, and it's my favorite. I think it's the best done. But it's really my favorite because it was a mashup of mystery and horror. There are so many horror elements in it. There is a monster, a supposed monster. It's rather reminiscent of The Hound of the Baskervilles, which is an actual Conan Doyle story that is a mashup of mystery and horror.
It's a book. Yeah.
Yeah, the Sherlock Holmes novel. It is probably the novel. It is definitely the Sherlock Holmes novel, most made into movies, but is actually it's in the running for novel most made of all novels of all time, most made. There is over a dozen.
Wow.
There is over a dozen Hound of the Baskerville movies. So anyway, Scarlet Claw is much like that, and I love it. I love it. I've seen it at least 37 times.
Wow.
Yeah, so I decided
review it,
and because it is a mashup. It is not just that it's a mystery which falls under geekery, but it's horror also, and it's I like mashups. Like Cowboy and Aliens. I like
Mexico and anime.
Yeah, I like mashups. I like even steampunk is in a sense a mashup. A mashup. So.
No, absolutely loved the post. You inspired me to go watch it.
So you watched the movie.
I watched the movie. Not only did I watch the movie, I posted it on as a fan. I posted it on there, the YouTube video, because it's 73 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's not a big investment in time.
No. It's worth it.
And you said it was horror, mystery. I was like, you got me. And then you also you rated it 4 Gray Geeks.
I did, yeah, 4.
4 Gray Geeks. So I took a look at it and I liked it a lot. Really good horror moments. The monster in the moors. Come on. And it glows in the dark. It's coated by phosphorus.
And for that time, it was pretty good special effects.
It was an interesting special effect, and you're like, holy crap. And I'm thinking to myself, they could have done it. They couldn't have done it at that time, but I could see where they could.
I would love to see
update it. Absolutely,
I would love to see a remake.
Although I'll tell you, I loved. Nigel Bruce, jokingly, Watson was in. If you read, I read all the novels,
right,
and the short stories, and I've multiple times, and I'll tell you, Nigel Bruce playing. Watson like a little bit of a cartoon character. I was like, all right, but I could see where he stumbles and saves Holmes. So I was like, all right, I get it.
The movies at that time all had a comic relief, all of them. It didn't matter. If it was a Private Eye movie, the Private Eye would have a bumbling sidekick. If it was a Western, look at Cisco Kid and Pancho. Everybody had it was a sign of the times. One of the things I did like about this movie was that the scene where they catch the innkeeper slapping his daughter, and Watson gets incensed. Yeah. You get the sense like that if Holmes had let him, he would have
kicked his butt.
He would have kicked his ass. And I was like, that was nice. That was a nice Watson moment there.
Watson is tough. But it's just that Basil Rathbone is so serious and so able that you kind of like wonder, okay, Watson's, would he hang out with this guy that's, a bumbling fool? However, it worked out. It worked. And so I liked it a lot. And I gave it 3.5 Grey Geeks underneath the, in my little comment section. It's not a direct grab from A Hound of the Baskervilles, but let me tell you, as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Very much like it. Very much like
So yeah, really good choice, I'll tell you. And like I said, got me to watch it. I had never seen it before, and I actually had never seen Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce Sherlock Holmes. So it got me enthused to watch a couple of those.
They actually did, the two of them, Basil Rathbone, actually did The Hound of the Baskervilles. They actually did, and as a period piece. I think that was maybe their first time playing those characters. They actually the first one that they did was. It
might actually be scary too, because this was pretty scary.
Yeah.
And especially for that time. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to say about it? But yeah, really good post.
Except go see it. You could
I put it right there.
He embedded it.
I said made it so easy for you.
Made it so easy for you. Watch it. I'm telling you, watch it. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, it was worth watching. Like I said, in 73 minutes. Excuse me. Then the last post of the week was the Reading Sanctum Friday. Reading Sanctum number 4 was Phasma. I said that I was going to do it, and I finally put it up.
And you did it.
Yeah, finally put it up. Really loved the book. 4.5 Grey Geeks. Odd that they put so much effort into a character. If you think about it, Phasma is in... the first movie.
For how long?
For like, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe, maximum. Mm-hmm. You'd think that she was like Darth Vader, but she wasn't. It's like, I don't understand. But, they really give a big history of Phasma. So if you're interested in Phasma...
Or Star Wars.
Yeah. It's
you're a Star Wars fan.
It was worth a read. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're gonna borrow my book.
I'm gonna borrow, but I just have so many that I'm reading right now. But I'm gonna borrow that book.
I know. All right, so that's pretty much all we have about last week. Now let's talk about. Wait, before we go into our plugging this week's books and stuff that we're gonna do, we're gonna do some shout outs, aren't we?
Yeah.
You had wanted to do some shout outs, and you told me remind me if.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you do the shout-outs, and then if you forget one, I will remind you.
I want to shout out, first and foremost, Noreen Santos. Yay!
What's up?
Noreen,
what's up?
She's been supporting us from the beginning. She hits that like button, people. She hits the like button. And the other day, she mentioned that it was time for disaster movies. Now, it didn't occur to me at the time, when we were planning this, that disaster movies are a legitimate genre within geekery. And I was like, wow, and there are so many disaster movies that I absolutely adore. Towering Inferno, Dante's Peak, Volcano, The Day After Tomorrow, and the list goes on.
Twister.
Oh, the list goes on and on. Ooh, Twister. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So she made me go out there and look at pictures, and I had fun with her. I posted a picture. I said, "What can you name this movie?" And and it was just great. Her and Billy Santos. Let's hear it for Billy.
What's up, Billy?
Shout out to Billy Santos too. It was fun. It was fun, and I am not going to forget disaster movies. Now, matter of fact, I'm going to use this as an excuse. I'm going to watch. I'm not sure what is it that I want to watch. Now that you mentioned Twister, I might do Twister. I was thinking of doing Towering Inferno, but I'm gonna watch some of these. Volcano though. I love Volcano. I'm gonna do I'm gonna watch one of these movies, and then I'm going to review it, like I did with the Scarlet Claw. And if we can find it on video, if we can find it on YouTube, we'll post it so you can watch it. But I got to give it to Noreen and Billy. That was fun, man. That was fun.
All right. You also, do you know any other shout outs? You remember your cousin?
Which one?
The one that has the different last name? Oh my God. You had said the one that was, you were posting stuff for Noreen, Billy, then questions for superheroes.
Oh, Jamal.
Yeah, there you go.
Jamal, baby. One. I'm glad you recovered. He had hurt himself badly, and he was like almost a year out of work.
Okay. So shout out his name so that we can do the
Jamal, my cousin Jamal.
What's his last name? What's up?
Zamalaski.
That's why you didn't want to say his last name.
This guy. Listen. This guy came out of the womb a geek. Okay, this is all we ever talk about. Him and his dad and me, right? His dad's name is Jimmy. Let's give Jimmy a shout out too.
Jimmy, what's up?
Okay. I did for fun. This is what happens when I have too much free time. I posted on our Facebook page. Can anybody guess who the superhero is? And I listed 5 traits, and it turned into a game. It turned into a game with Jamal. Jamal was playing. Omar, which we had previously given a shout out, but Omar Gonzalez, he was participating. And my daughter Benji, my daughter Jamie, and my grandson Benny. They previously had shout outs. I don't know if we did Jamie.
We're going to do Jamie.
Okay, Jamie!
Jamie! Woohoo! I was saving you for last. What's up?
But the one that kept winning was Benny. I did like three times, and he kept nailing it. Now, he's my grandson. I'm not trying to take any credit for it, but genetically, that boy is a geek. Okay, and he gets it from me. All right.
Not a gray one though.
He's not a gray one. No, we'll leave it. That comes later. He'll inherit the website. He'll inherit the blog. Someday, him and one of Lewis's grandkids will continue it.
Yeah, I don't have them yet.
Or maybe Nathaniel and Benny.
No. We'll see. All right, so you're done with the shout-outs?
Yeah.
Okay, good shout-outs. I remembered that we had to make sure that we did that. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the week that's coming up. Your post for Monday, you had mentioned already. I'll let you.
I came across an article in a video of a new Netflix show called The Witcher. I had never heard of this character. Lewis had. He was familiar with the
video game,
The Witcher. Never heard of it. Did not know that there was a book series, comic books. There was a movie, a Polish movie, and a Polish TV show, and video games. The Polish movie and the TV show were called The Hexer because the Polish word used can be translated into either Hexer or Witcher. So the Polish version, they called it The Hexer, and we're calling it The Witcher. The new series debuts December 20th for Netflix, and it stars Henry Cavill. Yes, Henry Cavill. That Henry Cavill. I'm not kidding. That Henry Cavill. Superman. With white hair. Long white hair.
Looks good.
It makes you wonder what would have been like if he had done Thor. This is a period piece. It takes place. It's a medieval world, but in a universe that monsters exist, and Witcher is what they call monster hunters for hire. So basically, Henry Cavill is a monster hunter for hire. It's supposed to be that he meets and becomes involved with a sorceress, and the two of them wind up involved with a princess with a deadly secret, and they wind up, not to give anything away, but they wind up raising, they become her surrogate parents, and it's their adventures as they become a family.
Okay, cool.
Now I saw the trailer again. I was not familiar with this character. Did not know anything about it. So all this, I did the research. Right? I read articles. I looked at trailers. I did the math. It looks fabulous. It looks extremely interesting. I am dying to watch this. I'm hoping that Louis and I will binge watch this because it's on Netflix, and that's what Netflix is for, to binge watch. Get with the program, people. If you don't have Netflix, then find some way to get it. And then you can be like us and stay up all night until the next day, be bleary-eyed, be incoherent, but you got to watch an entire series. Okay? Welcome to the 21st century.
All right. So yeah, that'll be our Monday post.
The Witcher.
Tomorrow. And Wednesday post, we're looking to do a video. We're going to try and do 2 videos today. 2 more on top of this one.
What tops of videos?
Yeah. So we're thinking of, I know Lost in Space. Listen, one of the reasons why we didn't get a video this last week was because we watched Lost in Space like the whole... We went through all 10 episodes.
We binged. So I'm telling you, people, it's the now thing to do. Get with it. It's the now thing to do.
So it'll either be Lost in Space or Pennyworth. So it'll be one of those videos.
Well, we promised you both.
Right. So so I don't know if we might actually post an extra one this week, or we'll wait. We'll hold off on one of them. But we're gonna try and do those 2 today.
No, we'll probably do one, because especially the Lost in Space, it's going to take a while to talk about it. I mean, remember how like when we did Another Life?
Yeah.
It's an entire season, or The Boys. It's an entire season. It takes you and multiple characters. It's going to take a while to.
Whereas Pennyworth will probably be a half an hour video.
Yeah. It's only 2 episodes, so.
All right.
If we do Lost in Space, it's just going to be that one.
Okay. And I know we had a person that asked for Lost in Space.
Right. And
Pennyworth is more of a
more us.
We liked it. All right. So we'll figure out which one we're going to do Wednesday.
Which brings up an interesting point. People, we take requests. Come on. If you want us to do an autopsy on a series, tell us. We'll watch it.
Yeah, you said that Jamie had 6 suggestions. So.
But actually, her suggestions were on polls.
Oh, okay.
After we did the James Bond theme music poll, she suggested best favorite Harry Potter movie.
Okay, yeah.
Favorite Harry Potter villain, favorite Harry Potter character, and there was something else.
That's Harry Potter, huh?
Right, and then she said that we should do a poll on Best Bond girl.
Yeah, we had talked about doing some stuff on Bond girls, so we'll get to that. All right, we'll do that. Save that for our meeting. All right, so that'll be Wednesday. Then the Friday, I'm torn because I'm not sure whether I'm gonna do. I had an idea previous to this week about the many actors, the many faces of Jason Voorhees, the many actors that have played Jason beneath the mask. So I had wanted to do a thing on that.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Yeah. So looking to do that, but yesterday I was telling the Beard that I was watching. I went on Amazon Prime and I was looking for something, geek that was a movie that I could watch, and I really didn't find anything until I found Chris Claremont's X-Men. That's the name of the book, of the documentary.
The documentary.
It's a documentary, Chris Claremont's X-Men, and I'll tell you, it filled me with the sense of nostalgia, that only a gray geek can feel. Because it's like, I remember Chris Claremont at a convention as a heavyset dude, heavyset blonde guy, and
youngest,
young, and hearing him, and we're over there eating every word that he's
Chris
speaking.
Claremont,
It's
Chris
like, yeah,
Claremont.
and then I saw him on the video, and I'm like, holy crap, what a great geek! And so I was like, okay, and I'll tell you, I really want to, sing the praises of this documentary.
Yeah, you should.
So,
you should.
So I'm not sure which one it'll be. So it'll be. I am gonna do something with Jason Voorhees and the actors that have the many faces of the actors that played Jason Voorhees. That'll be somewhere in the future. I know I still have to do this thing on phobias that I had promised my sister that my sister Dee that I was gonna do. So yeah, that's still in the works, but that's more of an academic piece. So it involves a little more research. So yeah, those things are coming. As for, I think that's it that we will post for this week, and that'll be take us to Red Capers number 6.
Right.
Red Capers number 6. Can you believe that we're getting there? So much stuff. We're now not only one hand's worth of, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our content. We're getting there. We're building an empire of gray geeks. Join us.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah. We have to listen. Please, I said it before. We take demands. If there's a movie that you want us to watch and review, tell us. Series, tell us. Book, tell us. Comic book, whatever. Please make suggestions. Even if we may not get to it right away, but it isn't forgotten. We will, we'll put it there, and it'll be in the works, and eventually we'll get to it. The suggestion about Lost in Space came way back when we first started. It just took us a while to get to it because it is an entire season. So,
it's 10 episodes.
But we did get to it. We did, and you're gonna have an autopsy about it. So please, if there's movies that there's such a wide variety of stuff out there, like Maureen and her disaster movies.
Yeah, that sounds like such a cool thing that I don't know why we didn't think of it.
And Benji and Harry Potter.
You're jamming in Harry Potter.
Both of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both of them. It's really, you're actually doing us a favor. If you make suggestions and you hit us with ideas, you're actually doing us.
Yeah, I would recommend the Pottermore website. If you haven't gotten on that, They have tons of stuff on Harry Potter. It's J.K. Rowling's site, so I mean she's fomenting more conversation. So yeah, even though it's not our site, but I recommend her site. I've been on there. She does a lot of games and polls and things of that nature. So yeah, I've never read all of the books.
It's a sister site.
Yeah. Talk about geekery.
Talk about geekery. Also, we recommended a website for you, readcomiconline.to. Mm-hmm. That's what it is, readcomiconline.to. When I tell you, go back and read this comic, let's say like Fantastic Four #1, right? You can find it on there.
Go ahead.
You can find it on there.
It's beautiful. I love that website.
Free
comics.
Free. You can read any comic free. You don't even have to sign up. Just punch the comic into the search engine, and they'll pull it out for you, and you can read it. So when we review the stuff like the Fantastic Four, or we talk about Crisis on Infinite Earths, or whatever, go. You can go and don't take our word for it. Go check it out yourself.
With that having been said, keep on with the likes. Keep on tapping that like button. Comment, please. We love the comments. Again, you don't have to agree with us and tell us that we're that great. You don't have to pat us on the back. We're old enough to take a little criticism. So, thank you very much for the affection and the attention.
Recommend us to your friends?
Absolutely. We are having a great time with the site. Can't you tell?
We are.
All right. So, for the mustacheandthebeard.com, I'm Louis Matos.
I'm Junior Figueroa, coming to you live from Puerto Rico.
See you later. Hasta la vista. Take it easy and
peace.